The return of Jimmy Garoppolo, looking an awful lot like Jimmy Garoppolo, doing Jimmy Garoppolo things. And I'll just tell you right now, the 49ers aren't wasting this defense on a rookie quarterback. The 49ers aren't wasting this defense on Jimmy Garoppolo. 49ers might be wasting this defense on Kyle Shanahan. And if that's what's going on here, we got a problem that is too big to overcome without radically redoing a lot of things. So everyone better hope that that's not it, because my man's got a guaranteed contract to 2025. And that wasn't good last night. Jimmy says he needs to play himself into shape. I'm actually going to give him a little leeway on that. I know people are coming down his chimney on that soundbite alone. I think that goes into how Kyle Shanahan walked his entire football team up to this season. Just a little bit anyways. It's year 6. All of this is Kyle's. All of it. His vision, his plan, the plan that he tried to undo, the plan that he couldn't get away from when it was all said and done. And here we are. Feels like we're stuck in the middle of another year, which is going to have some weeks that go really, really well for the 49ers. And then some weeks that feel like last night did. Ray, hello, good afternoon. How are you?
I won the under.
Well, I mean, come on.
It's a hell of a game for me.
There you go. Ray Ratto enjoyed it. That was in the barn early.
Hilariously bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so genuinely bad, I watched it again just for fun.
So I watched it last night.
I didn't watch it for any details at all, but when you have two teams that are that awful for that long, you just have to marvel at it.
Well, I mean, I rewatched it today, and it didn't get better overnight, that's for sure.
If it had, you have a story.
Knowing where to kind of put your eyes, knowing what was coming, it was a little interesting knowing the results as you watch it all unfold for a second time, and it all sort of makes more sense as you're all watching it unfold, as opposed to how confusing it all looked in real time. Why do the 49ers make offense look so hard? Why? I mean, the simplest of like, hey, we got to gain 5 yards here. We got to, we should be able to do that in a lot of instances. Why do the 49ers make offense look so difficult?
Well, in part because teams have figured out that Jimmy Garoppolo is not to be respected as a passer. So they just basically load up, go ahead, run. We dare you to run on us because we don't think you can, so we don't have to worry about the pass. I mean, last night, and you mentioned it before, when you're playing 5 defensive linemen, you're basically saying, we're not blitzing you. We're just going to plug up every gap. Let's see what you do with that, because we don't trust that you can get the ball downfield. It explains why they drafted Trey Lance. It explains why they wanted to start him. And now that we're in this situation again, and now without Trent Williams, I don't know what they do, because I don't know if they know how to pass block. They might be hitting their heads against a brick wall for weeks, because this is who they are. Everybody knows that this is who they are. And if you have a decent defense, you will expose them for what they are.
I think a month of Trent Williams' absence is going to be tough to get through. Getting Garoppolo back up to speed, apparently that's something that, if you had counted on it already happening, and just last week he was talking about how it's like getting on a bike and riding it again. Well, that bike was stolen.
Yeah. It's getting on like a bike with no wheels.
I mean,
fall down a lot.
Look, it was such a weird game last night. The amount of it looked bad is obvious. The amount of looking at it a second time and how much worse it could have looked. This is the rare team that actually got bailed out by its safety. Because Jimmy was going to throw a pick in that moment. He did, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess the way that the Niners need to look at it, him ending the play by stepping out of the back of the end zone saved him an interception. The 1 3rd down conversion of the night was an incredibly interceptable pass. When Jimmy's ball got batted down at the line of scrimmage by DJ Jones in that game, thank God that it happened, because where he was looking to put that ball was an interception waiting to happen. Jimmy should have had 4. Well, that's probably exaggerating just because 3 feels like it's. He should have had 3 more turnovers last night. That's where that game could have gone. Now, since everyone just concentrates on quarterbacks and head coaches, and I'm afraid we're going to fall into that trap just a little bit today ourselves as well here.
A little bit?
Let me say, just a little. Let me say what a great night it was for the defense. That was a spectacular night of defensive football for the San Francisco 49ers. Shame on that offense for not being able to figure out a way to complement that effort. Now, I told you that Denver was going to be better than you thought. I told you. Not you, Ray, everyone listening, but you specifically. I told you that they were going to be better because that's a really good defense, and they've got a quarterback who, even though he's not figuring it out in red zone appearances or over the course of 4 quarters, Russell Wilson just needs, I figured it out for a drive. And that's all he needed last night. And unfortunately, Russell got his drive out of him, where neither Kyle Shanahan nor Jimmy Garoppolo could get the drive that they really needed out of themselves. And I'll also say this. The 49ers touchdown should not have counted. That was an illegal pick, and that play should have been a 5-yard penalty. Do it again. So the Niners just got all kinds of lucky in a game where they had no luck really to look at all at the same time. And if we're talking about the ultimate sins here, what's the ultimate sin of any head coach? Because, look, things can go wrong at any time in a football game. We know that about this league. But the ultimate sin is predictability. And that's why I'm afraid that today Kyle Shanahan might be our biggest sinner among us, because his offense has gone from, lots of wrinkles and running guys open to, still running Debo open every now and then. But I'll tell you this right now. I am calling what is about to happen in every play before it happens with about 80% accuracy. And that's just me, a boob, sitting on my couch. If I'm picking up these tendencies, what are other NFL teams and head coaches doing? I'll tell you when Deebo Samuel's about to run with the ball. You know when? You want to know the clue that Deebo Samuel is about to run with the football is? He's in the backfield. If Deebo Samuel's lining up in the backfield, he's getting the ball. It's so predictable. And predictable is...
Sorry.
What
happened here?
There you go.
My computer started to spit out an interview.
It's all right. At least your computer's into the show today.
I'm in.
I know.
Don't start that with me.
I'm just kidding.
I watched a crappy game twice.
But you did that for joy. That was personal pleasure.
Well, true, but I still watched it one more time than it deserved.
That was something else. That was something else last night. And where we go from here is anybody's guess. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of the year. What's about to happen next? I got no clue.
Oh, no, that's the thing about this, is that every week is going to be a different thing. There will be some common themes, the first of which is they cannot pass block, especially now without Trent Williams. And 2, they're going to have to figure out a way to either make Jimmy Garoppolo a more credible passing threat, or they're going to have to figure out how to run the triple option. Because you saw in Denver last night sort of what Seattle tried to do the week before, but doesn't have the players to do it, which is we're going to play like you're Bo Schembechler, because we assume you're going to run the ball 55 times a game. If you throw the ball, maybe you'll have some luck with it.
And what's crazy is they didn't even run the ball as much as you figured they would have in last night's game. None of the numbers getting cranked out of that game make an awful lot of sense, including the final score, 11-10. Are you kidding? That's a beer league softball score. That's not an NFL game.
I got one for you. That's happened one other time in NFL history.
It's the second time.
But the other one, 2008, Pittsburgh against San Diego. Pittsburgh wins, then beats San Diego again in the playoffs and ends up winning the Super Bowl. It's the last time they've won it. So we could watch those two teams play again in maybe the least watched Super Bowl ever.
It's a harbinger of good things, is what you're saying.
No, it's a harbinger of more bad football, because I think that's what these two teams both are. They are hard to watch.
We're brought to you by BMW Fairfield, now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. We got ourselves a great show today, and lines are open. We want to talk to you about what you think you saw last night, a game that is very open to interpretation. A lot of different ways. An outstanding night of defense was sunk by a night of offense that was just awful. Now, we have some Kyle Shanahan sound to get from you. We have to go back to the podium last night where Jimmy offered up excuses, which, had this offseason been conducted with a bit more care and foresight, maybe weren't baked in excuses. But man, oh man, oh man, what a night for the San Francisco 49ers. And the cherry on top of it all is the best player that they have is now hurt. Trent Williams probably out 4 to 6 weeks. So another weird game, another disappointing night of football, and a major injury to an important player. If you don't like that, you don't like 49ers football.